got your head coach, you got your GM. What's the next big thing for you guys?
So obviously, the next big thing for us is we got to, obviously, I think people are aware that Jason is moving forward with his life.
Right.
So we got to go find our president. The fellow is going to be engaging with the fans and inviting them into our house and make them feel great. So that's on the docket and on the agenda. But now comes the long build of trying to, win championships,
Sure.
right? Win Super Bowls. And so it takes a while, and you just, as a owner, as a managing partner, obviously, you can't run, you can't kick, you can't pass. So it's all about getting the best people off the field, so you get the best people on the field, and then slowly watching that ball.
You might have been the kicker because you didn't have one for a few days.
There we go.
As the managing partner, what's your expectation for this franchise, for this team this year?
Yeah, so my expectation is we're going to be better. We're going to be way more competitive. We're going to finish games. I'm really excited to see Jaden and see what he does and becomes. He's really impressive so far on every level. And so, I'm going to be, my expectations are that you see a lot of improvement.
Yeah. We're in a stadium. I know that you guys have talked about new stadiums. RFK, the fan base here, a lot of them want to go back to where the history was made, or where you watched it being made.
Of course.
If the RFK building doesn't pass in this session, are you willing to move on to Maryland and Virginia, or would you say, let's pump the brakes a little bit, I'm still willing to wait?
So I think what you got to do is hope that in the lame duck session, nothing is really going to happen until the presidential election. At least this is what I'm being an amateur political pundit here.
Right.
But and so you have the lame duck session. It appears to have bipartisan support, and so hopefully it'll get passed in the session between the election and January when the new Senate, Congress, and President are sworn in.
Right.
If that doesn't happen, you have to see what the landscape is. I mean, it could be a totally changed political landscape. So let me defer that question until we see what's happening in Washington.
Have you ranked your three jurisdictions? Can I ask that?
Yeah, look, we have, obviously, we've always said that, that RFK is the spiritual home of the Commanders. We've always acknowledged that.
Sure. But
at the same time, the Maryland has been incredibly hospitable to us, and so we've sort of been honest that we need to really try in Washington, but also that we have to make sure we're taking care of Maryland and Virginia at the same time, and particularly Maryland where we play right now. And Wes and his staff have been incredible, and so we're working through it all.
Two things you said in your press conference that struck me. One was that the fan base, they've literally shed tears to you, right? That they're so hopeful that this thing comes back. For a guy who grew up here, you got an NHL franchise, NBA franchise. Is it different because of this franchise and what it means to the kid, Josh Harris?
Well, look, I remember being 8 years old and then watching the Washington football lose to the Dolphins 14-7 on TV. I remember my uncle, Jerry Miller, had season tickets. I remember walking into RFK. He would take me once a season or twice a season and hearing the stand shake. And so, yeah, I mean, I lived those memories. I remember when Joe Gibbs was hired. I remember George Allen's Over the Hill Gang and Billy Kilmer, number 17, Sonny Jurgensen, and then all the way Joe Theismann.
Happy birthday to Sonny, by the way.
Happy birthday, that's right. So look, for me personally, I grew up with the franchise, and so there's an emotional aspect of it.
The other thing you said, which struck me, was NFL draft being held here. That's one of the goals. You kind of intimated that, yes, we had a few little discussions about it. Yeah. How cool would it be? What do you envision if that takes place at some point?
Yeah, I think, you guys saw what happened in Detroit and the crowds they had, and just imagine all of the places you could do that in Washington, D.C. Let your mind wander on that, and it's exciting, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of details to work out, and obviously it's not up to us. It's up to the NFL, and and we're hopeful that they see it the way that we see it. But I think it could be an amazing unifier for our city, the DMV, the country, and the NFL, and really benefit everyone. So I have a great vision of it, and when it happens, I don't know, obviously. But I mean, I know that there's a lot of people that want it to happen.
No. July 22nd, 2023, you told us we've got a lot of work to do. We got a GM, we got a head coach. The vibe that Dan Quinn is providing in camp, I've covered this franchise for the better part of 3 decades. I've not seen it like this. This is a different cat. He's a different guy. What are you getting from him?
Yeah, like people are having fun. Like he's a unifier. He's a culture builder. And obviously we needed a culture builder. And he's been around football for a long time. Look, we ended up getting an amazing cadre of coaches, the play callers.
Yeah.
Cliff and, and off the offensive genius. Dan, a lot of defensive talent from the Cowboys and other places.
Right.
A lot of people that had been head coaches or offensive and defensive coordinators being willing to contribute, right? And Dan is molding that into a unit. And then they're bringing an incredible amount of talent and energy and expertise to the players themselves, who are all having fun also,
right,
being part of like what is an incredible project, right? Where, we had 53 new faces out of 90. So that's a lot. And that's unusual.
Sure.
So that's very exciting for everyone, and there's a real feeling of positivity.
Last question. This entire stadium, you've made some renovations to it. I like the way you look at the stadium, by the way. You're looking at,
I love it.
Right?
I'm looking at all these I got to do. But I'm also enjoying, this is a beautiful night.
It is a beautiful night. What do you want fans who come to this game? Because historically, over the last, 15 years, they walked away a lot of times, not only the product on the field, but the product in the stadium going, what am I doing? I'm spinning an arm and a leg, and it's not very fun anymore. What do you want them to come away feeling with the game?
So my job is to help the city of Washington create memories. And I remember this has been so important to me throughout my whole life. And so I want everyone to have that feeling. And so I want people to come here. I know that it's they've had to get here. They've had to spend money to support this team. And I just want to say that I want you to come here and have an amazing time with your kids, with your families, with your friends. Have some fun. Drink if you want to drink. Probably be careful getting home and all that.
Yes.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But this is about creating memories, and I think this is about being part of the Washington community at large, the DMV at large. We're all part of that.
Yeah.
So we need your help, and hold us accountable. And this is just beginning. Like we're walking around today looking at all the change here, but this is going to be an ongoing project.
So I'm sorry, I have one more question because just that alone. This is fans want it now. They want it now. This is for the long haul for you guys, and it's going to take a while to get done. How long do you think? And that's almost an unfair question, but
For what?
Just to turn the franchise around to be as you said, want to be elite. How long do you envision that taking?
Yeah, it's really hard to put a time frame on it. I think that hopefully, let's see how Jaden does this year. I hate to, put so much pressure on such an incredible person, but let's see how a lot of the new guys do. And, I think that we're going to make progress this year. Let's see how much progress we make. And all I can tell everyone is that I want it to happen as fast as possible, but I'm not willing to sacrifice quality.
Unforgettable. Well, listen, it's a pleasure to talk to an owner who's available and transparent. It's a little different around here, so thank you for your time.
All right, well, everyone, come on down. This is a beautiful night, and we wish you all were here, and we've got a good season ahead of us. Thank you, DMB.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, man.